Hello dear bakers! Today I'll show you how to mix dough by hand. I will be making a dough at 70% hydration. We will start with Autolyse, then add starter and salt, and finish with stretch and folds. By the end of this video, you'll clearly see how your dough should look like when it's ready for bulk fermentation. For the initial mix, I'm using glass bowl, flour, and water. Pour most of the water into bowl, but leave a small amount aside. This will help us dissolve and incorporate the salt later. Add all flour and mix everything together until no dry flour remains. I am using a spoon, but feel free to mix by hands if you prefer. At this stage, our job is done. The dough will look rough and shaggy, and that's perfect. Now we'll let it rest for 20 minutes up to 1 hour. This step is called Autolyse. It's optional, but I highly recommend it. It improves hydration, increases dough elasticity, and enhances the enzyme activity. Cover the bowl and let it rest. My dough has rested for 1 hour, and now it's time to add the starter and salt. I add 100 grams of starter for this dough, and I mix it in using my hands by squeezing and folding the dough until it feels fully incorporated. You can use a claw-like motion with your hand. Spread your fingers slightly, scoop the dough from underneath, lift it up, and gently squeeze it through your fingers. Then fold it and back down. Repeat this motion until you feel that starter is evenly distributed throughout the dough. Once the dough feels somewhat cohesive after adding the starter, add the salt along with the reserved water. Mix in the same way as before, squeezing, folding, and using that claw motion. After adding the salt, I continue with the claw method. I use one hand to spread my fingers into a claw shape and reach under the dough from the bottom of the bowl, scooping a portion upward. I also pull the dough up and slap it firmly back down against the side of the bowl, allowing it to stretch. Let me show you from this angle how this claw method works. I keep the bowl sturdy in one hand while using the other hand to scoop the dough from the bottom and slap it back down against the side. This builds consistent tension, which helps the dough become more elastic and cohesive without overmixing. Once the dough looks like this, I clean the sides of the bowl with a scraper and cover it and let it rest. Now begins a bulk fermentation, which will last about 2 hours. Let me show you how to stretch the dough. I use my wet hand and gently pull one side of the dough up and fold it over itself. Then I turn the bowl and repeat it on all sides. Then cover and let it rest for another 30 minutes. This is my dough ready for the second stretch, and I repeat the same steps. I'm trying to be gentle and not to tear the dough. If you see some small lumps, you can gently squeeze them between your fingers. If they're very small, don't worry, they will dissolve during fermentation. And this is our third stretch and fold. Now you can see the dough is getting stronger. It holds its shape better, forming a round, slightly domed surface. And this is my final stretch and fold. At this stage, you may notice some small bubbles forming on the surface, and I repeat the same motions. The dough now holds its shape very well. It's less sticky, smoother, and when you gently press on it, it starts to bounce back. I will take it out from the bowl so you can see it's better on the table. I left the dough for about 15 minutes. On the table, you can see the dough has spread slightly. Now I want to show you how elastic this dough is. With wet hands, I gently pull the dough from the center so you can see how stretchy and smooth and elastic it is. It holds its shape beautifully when folded. This is a result of Autolyse and stretch and folds during bulk fermentation. It looks smooth, shiny, and very well developed. Now, I'll transfer it to a lightly oiled bowl, and at this point, it's ready to continue the fermentation. Thank you for watching.